Okay, so the question was, give an account of the way in which the Prophet started to preach Islam in the first few years after his first after he first received the revelation. Was it significant that the Prophet began preaching the message in secret? Yes, it was very significant. First of all, we all know that it was very important. It was very significant. Now, for one thing, if you see the first point that I have there after very significant, success requires secrecy. Now, this is something that you all must remember for throughout your life. Whenever you plan to do something, suppose you're planning to get into a university, you're planning to buy a house in future, inshallah, you're planning to buy a new car, whatever it is, if it's based on success, then the more secret you are about it, the more quiet you are about it, the more you are likely to be successful. So remember, when we start flaunting our success or our supposed success before we even achieve it, what happens, when people know about your plans, it becomes even more difficult. So for the success of Islam, it required secrecy, clear? Like every other success. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, plus Allah also ordered. At this time, remember, Allah ordered to just warn his, nearer friends, just keep it secret, and then, warn his family members. And then when the Prophet was ordered to preach publicly, that was the time. So it's based on Allah's order also. So that's a significance also, that Allah ordered it that way. Okay, plus the reason why it was necessary to preach secretly is because they would have faced a negative reaction. Because, your immediate friends, they can understand if you have a problem, or if you're dealing something, or if you're trying to apply for a university or anything like that, they can understand it and they will support you. But everybody that you know is not necessary that they would support you. They can also give a negative reaction. So imagine preaching as soon as he got the news himself. Imagine instantly him telling everybody. That he would have faced a very negative reaction, although he did still face a negative reaction. But amongst the negative reaction, there were a few people that did incline towards him also. And plus, initially, remember his experience. It was very traumatic, receiving the first revelation. It was traumatic for the Prophet. It was not very easy. Didn't take it well. So he needed time also to focus on himself and accept this new mission that Allah had given him, and accept the fact that he is a new prophet and he has got a duty. That's also a reason why he had to do it secretly first, so that he would save himself from negative reaction from the opposing party. Then you can see I have small group written. During these years of secret preaching, what did it help do? It helped form a small group of Muslims, basically like-minded people, usually gather together on one ideology. So they managed to form a small group of Muslims who would practice together, who would preach together with each other, and who would also, support each other and, buck each other up. Self-strength, as I mentioned before, that he also needed to gain self-strength to preach to the harsher party. Remember, the people who had adopted Islam, they were humble in nature. If you take Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Abu Bakr, they were humble in nature. But the other people who were staunch in nature, who were, a little bit, strong-headed, for them, he would have needed, more strength to preach than he would need for, Hazrat Khatija or Hazrat Ali or Zaid or Abu Bakr or Usman or Saad bin Abi Waqas. These were the early converts who converted with easy, just by once him telling it, they were ready to accept. But then if you see, like, preaching to Hazrat Umar would have been, very, very difficult, and you need more strength for preaching. strong support. Now, during this time of his preaching, he managed to get strong support from, naturally, Hazrat Abu Bakr was a strong support, because remember, he used to free slaves, the ones that were being tortured via their masters, just because they had accepted Islam. He used to buy them and free them. So the Prophet had a strong support system. Hazrat Usman was wealthy, so if they needed any financial support, he would always be willing to give it. So he had a strong support system. These 3 to 4 to 5 years managed to give him a strong support system. No disturbance in the fact that when he was preaching secretly for the 3 to 4 years, nobody would disturb them. But when he started preaching openly, then what happened? People would start persecuting them while they were preaching, persecuting them while they were practicing. So these 3 to 4 years in which they did not face any disturbance, it was very important that nobody would look at them as anything important. They were preaching. He was privately preaching for 3 years. And nobody paid heed. Nobody really cared about what was going on in between a couple of people. Do you understand? So there was no disturbance from the other side, from the opposition during this. So they had, free years, 3 to 4 years of free preaching, free, practice without any, stress. I think that is about enough for the question. If we go, very significant, success requires secrecy. Allah's ordered it that way. Negative, it saved the Prophet from negative reaction. A small group of Muslims were formed in these years of secret preaching. He gained self-strength. He also had a strong support from the Muslims that did occur, and then they were able to practice and preach with no disturbance because of the secret preaching. I hope that's answered the question.